Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and friends beyond the binary, welcome to another Johnny Scrims production. Today we have two new teams to Johnny Scrims competing, Swift and Speed Boost. And once again, I am joined by my partner in crime, Mr. Amintus Major. How you doing today?
Doing great, Juggle. Great to be back here at Johnny Scrims for the second official match of the league so far. And like you mentioned, we have Swift versus Speed Boost today, two very new teams. I believe it was Speed Boost that has been around for quite some time, and they were in one of those previous leagues with Johnny Scrims' team. And now that we are in this separate league, Swift has came in, a newer face for sure, a bunch of new players that I don't think a lot of people here have gotten to know just quite yet. So this is their first sort of showing, and it's important to make a big first statement, right? Once you get into this league, if you can start to make a name for yourself and really start to be feared, it'll be you'll be a force to reckon with over time.
Yeah, absolutely. And another interesting thing about Speed Boost is there's only one member from the original team still left on their roster, and that is Dirtmaster. So they've gone through quite a lot of changes over the years, it seems, originally forming in 2019, I believe.
And with that much time under your belt, you have to start to wonder whether the synergy from back then does actually carry over if there's only one member left. Nonetheless, Dirtmaster, the sort of the OG member of Speed Boost, has a wealth of competitive experience, and hopefully he can use that to sort of lead his team to a nice first victory here, get the ball rolling, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we have a couple of subs in today for each of the teams. We've got a couple of ringers, and it sounds like Swift is without their normal main tank today. So I believe Chomp, who we see here, is a ringer. And I believe we've also got a ringer in on the side of Speed Boost.
Yeah, ringers all around. So you do have to kind of take a grain of salt when you're looking at the results of a series like this. Nonetheless, both teams loaded up on very similar compositions. We've got this sort of Moira dive that we see very frequently in the Overwatch League. Even got that Reaper in there as well, but with the Sombra.
Yeah, fascinating compositions, and we see both teams already engaging on the high ground. And oh my gosh, Chomp coming up big, using those jaws on that Winston there to great effect, and that's going to be a very, very fast team win for the side of Swift.
It's off of a nice hack. Dirtmaster a little bit caught out there by the Sombra on the side of Speed Boost, and they take an easy first fight. Or sorry, that was for Swift, I believe. And yes. Swift takes an easy first fight win, and not having a lot of Lucio charge is a bit rough in this comp. Obviously, the Moiras are going to be coming online with this Coalescences very quickly, but the Lucio ultimate is very important to have online as well.
Yeah, that it is, and it may be needed soon. Oh, but it's not going to be in there soon enough because Chomp already takes down the main tank from Speed Boost, and now we see Frog getting eliminated as well. So they've actually traded at this point, so it's really anybody's match at this point. Going Henzo is getting very, very close to this Diva Bomb here too, and that may prove the difference maker. Let's see if they decide to launch it, while we see Chomp going nuts with that Primal Rage as well, pooping the Moira around.
Nice.
Just barely escapes. No, take that back, they don't. Excellent Primal mechanics there from Chomp. They go down very, very low, under 100 health. They're going to have to stay behind that wall while their team tries to heal him up. Another Diva Bomb comes out. This one isn't able to get any value, but it does briefly clear things out of the way. Now we see that Ludwig gets demeched, and that's bad because the EMP gets 4, 2 of which go down very, very quickly. Both Pandy, she, and Ludwig go down. But Going Henzo is actually picked off by a Primaling Tim, but I don't think that's going to be enough for Speed Boost in order to flip it.
Yeah, this entire time, Swift has maintained capture percentage, slowly ticking up over time, reaching 70% now, and with a couple of ultimates in their back bucket here, namely Frog's Death Blossom, it's down to Dirtmaster to try to maintain this first map here.
Yeah, now we see Speed Boost coming in with the, oh my gosh, there's the Death Blossom. The beat comes out, it doesn't catch anybody. Beats on both sides, as a matter of fact. Coalescence from Void, trying to do some work as well. And now, the Coalescence comes in from Jexus as well, and we see Void getting booped almost into traffic there by a Primaling Tim. But it's Ludwig who's able to get a pick onto TB4, and now this could go the way of Speed Boost if they can just finish up a few of these kills. The rematch comes in, and Tim just barely getting out of the way before they get hacked, and now the EMP comes in for 4. That's so big. Diva Bomb comes in. Going Henzo is able to catch Preto out. And the point has finally been flipped over for Speed Boost.
A bit of a misguided recontest coming in from Svift there. I feel like they didn't really understand that they were down a couple members, and they throw a couple of key ultimates, namely the Diva Bomb and the Sombra's EMP, which will be very useful to have in this next engagement because, look, Brato's sneaking around, trying to find an angle for his own EMP. He gets it under 4.
Oh, fantastic EMP. And we've got both Reapers going down immediately. This could be anyone's fight at this point. Preto trying to get another hack onto somebody in the mix of that. And now pushing out the other Sombra. We see Going Henzo going down to about half health, but they're able to get healed back up and rejoin the fight. The hack comes in onto Henzo, but it's not going to do a whole lot. Primaling Tim on point now, bopping people around left and right. And this fight is getting nuts. The hack comes in, but it's not going to be enough as we see Tim is able to boop Widow Broken off of the map. And that's going to be a hold for Speed Boost.
And these are sort of the extended consequences from that poor ultimate committal from the last fight on Swift's side. Not having access to a lot of these really important tools as Frog goes down to a nice hack once again from Fredo. This guy's individual hacks have been on point in this match. It's going to be important to see whether or not he can pull it out again because he's going to need to get one of those individual hacks to counter one of these ultimates ahead of time. Just going really aggressive, trying to maybe cap off the last of that EMP charge. But we're entering last fight territory, and Svift has 5 ults.
That they do, and that's going to be trouble for Speed Boost. We see a hack coming in early onto Chump. They're able to push out Fredo from the other side. There's the EMP. Once again, catches 4, but Durstmaster is not a part of it, so he's able to get the beat. But it doesn't matter because Going Henzo is going ham and gets 2 picks with this Diva Bomb. Chomp able to get a primal kill as well, and a jump pad kill. So this looks like it's going to be a fight flip for Swift, and I don't know if there's much that Speed Boost can do. No, they can, and that's going to be first point for Swift.
Nice first capture on the first sub-map of Oasis here off of, a really great start. They got it all the way up to 99%, and while, the recontest was a little misguided at the very tail end of their first push, they still managed to bring it back and win the map off of a pretty good understanding of how to just bank up ultimates over time. They're like, okay, we messed up those ults. That's okay. We just need to, take it a little bit slower, bank up a bunch of ultimates at once, and then throw them so that we just flip it back in our favor pretty handedly. And it's off of the back of a really nice beat from Teabag. I love that name, by the way.
Oh, that is Teabag, isn't it?
Yep.
Oh, that's funny. All right. Well, yeah, both teams played very, very well that match, and I think if that's anything to preview for the rest of the match, we're in for an exciting evening of Overwatch.
Speed Boost opting to take that lower rotation underneath to try to get a nice secretive push, maybe to set up Fredo on that off angle, but as a result, it looks like Twist is just going directly in. Frog gets hacked while mid-fight.
Yeah, and now we see Chomp trying to get a lot of value out of that Textile cannon, but it's Frog who's able to take down Fredo first. And they are able to trade for Teabag, though, so now they don't have some of that healing. And Jexus goes down very, very low for the side of Swift, but they're able to get healed back up. Teabag just respawned, so they're going to be joining the fight again, but Void goes down this time for Speed Boost, and that is a big amount of heals that's just not going to be there for Speed Boost. Pandy goes very, very low on this Reaper. Are they going to be able to survive? No, they're not. Jexus is able to catch them out, and Swift is going to cap this first point.
Felt like on that first engagement, Swift took that high ground rotation, keeping all 6 of their core members together, which allows Justice to get all of that AoE healing more consistently. And the split retake attempts from Speed Boost is really difficult to keep everybody alive. And when you're playing so split, a couple of key members going down early like that will make it really difficult to win. And now we have so many ultimates in advantage or in favor of Swift rather. I'm looking at Widow Broken's EMP on this next engage first.
Yeah, now we see Chop coming in, and there's the EMP. It's able to catch 3. Trades come in very, very early, but it's going to go the way of Swift. That is until we get a big Death Blossom in from Pandy, followed by a beat from Dirtmaster, which is going to allow his team to push even harder now on this advantage. And we see Pandy chasing down this Chomp, on this Winston, and that's going to be their first cap.
They were not ready for Pandy's Death Blossom in that engagement. I think they've expected to just kind of win it for free off of the EMP, and Frog dying early means you don't have a lot of upfront firepower. And they're able to sort of just slowly flip that back by taking Speed Boost just takes Swift by surprise, and now they have this aggressive hold. Look at all 5 members on that high ground with Kratos sitting in the background, but he gets hacked! Oh, that's disastrous for Speed Boost.
Yeah, Jux is taking him out very quickly. That EMP was going to be pivotal, I think, for this fight. Ludwig gets hacked. Bomb comes in from Going Henzo. And now we see Void coming in with this Coalescence. Matched by Jexus. We've got a rainbow lightsaber fight on point. But Death Blossom comes out from Frog. And now it looks like picks are going the way of Swift. The EMP comes in, though, and it catches 4 members of them. Is this too late, though, for them? I think they might appreciate having that ultimate back for the next fight.
Yeah, they're just going to slowly stream onto the objective, trying to recontest it, but only 1 member gets on, and that's an extra 10%. But like you mentioned, very misguided EMP attempt from Fredo. That was a 2v5 scenario, and they're going to be desperately missing that for this next engage, because Widow Broken can start to tempo his EMP and really just start cycling it with the rest of his team's ultimates to get some free fight wins here. No defensives on the side of Speed Boost to try to survive, but Frog Guy's first again! Oh no!
Oh wow, Ludwig able to pick him off. They're gonna need that EMP more now than ever for Swift. We see them having to translocate out. Preto goes down very low because of the hack, and Chomp is able to pick them off. The EMP gets all 5 of them, every single one of them. Teabag decides to pop the beat so that Swift can go on a Swift rampage and take out the rest of the members of Speed Boost.
You know, you can question whether that beat was necessary, but so clutch from Widow Broken, recognizing that that fight was still winnable in the 5v6 because of the lack of ultimates and just, you know, much better coordination on the side of Swift. And now, final fight territory here. They have 3 ultimates to do this. All they have to worry about is Pandy's Death Blossom. As long as they matrix that out, this should be an easy win for them.
All right, and we see both teams posturing, just a little bit of chip damage coming in at first. And now we see Tim going in for the engage on the high ground. They're pushed off, and Pandy is picked by Widow Broken again. Self-destruct comes in, doesn't catch anybody, and now we see Chomp possibly ready to pop this Primal Rage. But yeah, it's Chomp who's actually gets a pick already first. The EMP comes in and it catches 4. Is it going to be enough to turn the tide back in the favor of Speed Boost? They're going to have to get something done quickly, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. And Swift takes your first map today.
And I'm not going to lie, that did feel like kind of a dominant first statement from Swift, coming in as this sort of unknown quantity, not really sure what the talent level's like in this team, but after a performance like that against an established team on the side of Speed Boost, great first start, right? Like, that's a 2-0 victory, and when you look at the context of both of these sub-maps, it feels like Swift really had the advantage the whole way through. They just were in the driver's seat the whole time, and that's going to bode very well for them throughout the duration of this whole series.
Yeah, I think it will. And what I was also very impressed with was the patience that Swift showed. Like you were talking about on that first map, they just waited until they had all the ultimates. They knew they weren't in a hurry. They could let Speed Boost get more percentage before they made their final and very pivotal and decisive push.
I have to agree. My only issue is on the side of Speed Boost, there was a couple of key errors that they continued to make repeatedly, where it was something along the lines of, can we win this? If yes, try to commit ultimates. And they never really banked them up in the same manner that Swift did. It felt like there were some misguided recontests, and they were repeated. It wasn't just like a single error. It was a couple things happening over and over again that I'm seeing right now. And Speed Boost is going to have to fix up their act in terms of when is a fight won, when is it lost, sort of refigure how they're taking these fights over time. And if they can figure out how to do that, it's going to bode well for them throughout the rest of the series.
Yeah, that it will. And you know that this team has the, they've been through a lot, especially Dirtmaster, right? He's been with the team since 2019. So you know that he's probably in there in chat right now, helping to get this team back on their feet. And I believe we do have a next map pick now. Looks like we will be headed to London for King's Row.
Yep, we're going to King's Row. We're heading on off to Great Britain. The streets of King's Row are notorious for brawl, I'd say, just throughout the whole duration of, every single competitive league it feels like we've watched personally. Brawl is the predominant composition to play on this map. And, it makes a lot of sense when you think about the map geometry. It's very straight. There's not a lot of natural cover on a lot of these points. So the Rhine Shield kind of organically is the best choice just due to the size of it and how easy it is to block everything behind you. And then you layer that on top of some of those narrow choke points. May is a great choice to just wall it off.
Yeah, that she is. And yeah, I'm excited, especially to see Speed Boost on this, because talking with them before the match today, I learned that Brawl is something that they feel very, very confident on. So maybe this is a comfort pick for them, right? And maybe we'll get to see them really step it up for this map.
Yeah, they're going to have to, right? And also something that we should mention is that Speed Boost was playing with their coach on that first map, who is now subs out. And we have CF Man 29 coming in to take his place on that DPS role. So maybe that did kind of play a slight role in, maybe some of their struggles on that first map. And who knows at that point, right? If you get a new player in, it could change literally everything, or it could change nothing.
Yeah, that is true. It really, really could. But I imagine that they probably feel a little bit more comfortable now having their coach in the coach's chair and CF back where they need to be on the team. Team synergy is such a huge thing, especially when you get to the higher levels of Overwatch, which we're watching today.
Absolutely. Synergy got to be one of the most underrated portions of the entire picture of team play, mainly because it involves a lot of trust. And I think trust is something that's difficult to organically come by. You have to kind of work it out over time, just get a lot of shared experience together. So synergy is not something that happens overnight. And that, to me, is kind of where a team like Speed Boost should be able to come in and have an advantage. They've been around for a much longer time than Swift. They've been playing in this league longer than Swift. Maybe they can tap into some of that experience in the past, or to trust some crazy decision making, and really, change up the course of this series, because right now it's firmly in Swift's favor.
Yeah, that is true. And I forgot about this point. Speaking back on Synergy, there's actually 2 new members for Speed Boost right now. They actually had a couple of members had to leave the team, it sounds like on Sunday. So they're turning around very quickly with some new members, and hopefully they're paying dividends right now.
At the moment we're running into some technical difficulties. Oh, actually, never mind. Both teams are now ready, so we will be loading into King's Row here. Finally getting it started. Honestly, I'm very excited to see this, because we saw a couple of mixed looks on the previous map with, both teams playing the Moira Rush rather than a more traditional, Bap Lucio Brawl. So if they do opt into that Brawl mirror here, this is going to be a new look for both teams. So it'll be interesting to see who ends up coming out on top here.
Yeah, it really, really will. And, I'd like to learn a little bit about the maps here. And yesterday, 2 days ago when we were casting, I didn't know a whole lot about King's Row, so I looked it up. Found out that it is in a part of London called Chelsea. It's about 2 miles long, and it was originally just a road for a king. I believe King Charles II, if I'm not mistaken. And so it was originally just a private road for him, but over time, it was opened up to more and more people. So a little bit of history there for you, a little bit of a context for the battle that we're about to see break out on this map.
Love the real life lore as well as the Overwatch lore kind of melding together there. And with 10 seconds left on the clock here, we've got some interesting compositions on both sides already. If you take a look at Swift on defense here, they're running a double shield, which is not something you typically see on King's Row. Just because of the way the map is constructed, I think it does not favor the defending team past the first point. So it'll be interesting to see whether they can make it work for that long, because on the other side, Speed Boost opts into that much more traditional brawl comp.
Yeah, that is true. Now, I am experiencing a few technical difficulties of my own, but I am back in it. And now, this fight has broken out in earnest. Frog is able to take down Pandy very, very quickly. Halt comes in from Chomp to try and get all those team members in together and grouped up so that they can rain this damage down into them. Ludwig gets demeched, and we see an Immortality Field come out very early from the side of Speed Boost, and now they're going to Speed Boost their way back to spawn while they regroup.
Just losing a member earlier there, I believe it was Pandy on the McCree, not having all of that upfront CC with your flashbang and the fan the hammer once the shields are gone. Makes it a lot more hard for the Brawl comp to maintain that push, and going into this next fight, they're going to have to rely on Void's Amp Matrix to carry them.
Oh, yeah, they are in there. This window is popped very early by Void. Pandy gets a big pick onto Chomp. Both tanks are down now, both due to Pandy. She is popping off right now in that DPS role, and the copy comes in on the Diva. Are they going to be able to get any value out of it? The amplification matrix comes in, and now we see the remake and the blizzard coming in, but look at this. The kill feed is just full of Team Speed Boost taking out Swift, and that's going to be a first point capture.
Those 3 ultimates on the side of, I believe that's Swift, that they're going to be sorely missing for this next engage. You don't have that copy to sort of maintain your positioning in a fight to kind of try to fight back. No Dragon to capitalize on these tight corridors. No Amp Matrix to try to keep this front line alive and maybe get some picks before the fight starts. Because now, look at all of these ultimates that are coming online for Swift. They've got 4 now. Once Void gets that Amp Matrix online, and it's going to be a pretty easy walk-in for them, mainly because of the ultimates that Speed Boost have access to, or sorry, Swift. They're not very good into the tool set that Brawl can use here.
Yeah, that's gonna be a little bit painful for them. Now we see the Speed Boost coming in for Speed Boost. The Shatter catches 3. They immediately go down. Jexus and Going Henzo both down. The main tank and those big heals for Team Swift. They are gonna have to swiftly regroup and try again. But it looks like they're trying to still fight this out on point. The Immortality field out is out now for Speed Boost. But
oh no.
Yeah, the staggers are huge. Oh my gosh, Teabag, that is so unlucky. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's gonna be painful for Swift.
They're just not going to get a second fight. They're just giving up this last point. I mean, Chomp is still stuck behind everybody. This guy is so big. He is so staggered. He might as well be playing a different map right now. Like, he is just stuck behind them, and he's going to die eventually, but still the cart is going to continue forward. How is Swift going to regroup with their main tank in this fight?
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do without him. Maybe he's gonna. It's not. You can't even charge in, right? It's not even a Reinhardt. Yeah, who knows? All right, but we see Immortality coming out. So does a Diva Bomb. Is it going to catch anybody? No, it doesn't, but Widow is able to find Void. So maybe this is an opening for Chomp to get back with the team. And it looks like they've been able to sneak around, but it doesn't matter because both tanks are down now. And we see the copied Widow Broken charging in with that ride and now desperately trying to escape with their life, but they just aren't able to do it.
Somehow, once the dust settles, Swift gets the fight win, which just is blowing my mind right now because Chomp was literally just not in that engagement the whole time when his halt misses. Somehow Going Henso still catches 3 in that flux, managing to kill Jexus, and that's what ends up winning that fight. But now they have to worry about all the ultimates on the side of the Brawl comp once again. Look at Thymo, Shatter, and this Amp Matrix.
Oh my gosh, the Amp Matrix is big, but we see a Supercharger come out, but it is very, very quickly dealt with by Team Swift. And look at the Blizzard. The Blizzard catches so many, and they just go down left and right. This is a Speed Boost is really doing a speed run right now of King's Row as we see Swift trying desperately to hang on for dear life. The Immortality field saves them temporarily. The Valk comes in too. That's going to allow them to stay up and to deal more damage into Speed Boost. Is it going to be enough though? We see Going Henso getting frozen now by that Mei. We get picks on either side, but it's looking like it's going slightly in the favor right now of, oh my gosh, there's the Bastion pick. The Bastion pick comes out now for Swift. They pop the wall in front of it. CF trying to keep that damage away, but they're not going to be able to do it as we see Swift is actually holding on very, very well right now, and even if Speed Boost caps this, Swift could be proud of themselves because they burned a lot of time off the clock. Immortality field coming out again, and now we see that. Oh, a Shatter! The Shatter catches 2. Another Blizzard from CEF. How many can they get in this fight? Going Henso going almost down the pit again. They're able to get the mines out on point, but it's not going to stop the cart. Just the mines, and that's going to be 2 minutes and 43 seconds on the clock for Speed Boost.
How's your lungs doing, man? That was a long one. Yeah, that stall was a really long one from Swift, actually. The Bastion swap, so much threat coming right out of spawn that they kind of have to play on that left side of cart, but it doesn't end up doing anything in the long run. They're able to sort of withstand all of that pressure from the swaps, deal with any ultimates coming back from spawn, and like you mentioned, the 2 Blizzards coming out at the very end of that engagement, really making it easy for Speed Boost to get the cart all the way in there. And we talked about like why Brawl is so predominantly played here. That is a perfect example. When you play something that is not strictly meta, you have to have something in mind as to why. And in my mind, it felt like Swift was just kind of lost the moment they lost any momentum after that first fight. It was just pretty much free for Speed Boost all the way through. There was only 2 fight wins on the side of Swift, and it came off of the back of some questionable decisions on the side of Speed Boost, rather than anything that Swift was doing that was just, really incredible. And after a first map where you go down 2-0 in a pretty dominant fashion, this is a great statement to make.
Yeah, it absolutely is. If Speed Boost can slow down the roll of Swift, then this game is going to be anything but fast, and we're in for a lot of good Overwatch.
10 seconds left before the spawn doors open and Swift starts their attack in earnest, and we do actually see them going back to mirror the brawl. No interesting sort of hero differences, so it will be a perfect mirror on both sides, which to me, it tells me that in these upcoming fights, the things we have to watch out for are the Mei walls, because in this brawl mirror, Mei wall basically determines everything for you, how fast you can go and who's cut off, so watch the Meis in this next fight.
All right, and we see Swift very swiftly rotating into that hotel. They most of them get in there, and now they're going to try and approach from the backside of this point. Both teams just getting a little bit of chip damage right now. Nothing major happening. Frog goes down to half, though, so they have to back out just briefly. And now we see them getting a kind of a crossfire going with Frog flanking, but it's not good enough. Dirtmaster is able to take him out, and that's going to be a team win for Speed Boost.
Frog tries to go on that flank to pick off Pandy off of two simultaneous Mei walls, and we get a little bit of a rough scenario for both teams here. It looks like Speed Boost will be able to win this on the long run. Going against a Remix and is going to get taken out very low, but that's more ult charge on the side of Speed Boost's Brawl team, and that's going to mean this early Ant Matrix from Void can get a lot of value. It's going to take down the shields of Chomp, and then that should open it up for Thymo and his Earth Shatter in this next fight.
All right, both teams facing off now. Thymo trying to find that angle for the Shatter. The wall comes out from Frog. It doesn't really split anybody off, but the Shatter gets a couple. We see Chomp is frozen now, and Tim is able to take him out, and Speed Boost is gonna win this fight once again.
I mean, they don't even need the Ant Matrix. This is such a different look coming out from Speed Boost after that first map. These guys are dominating right now. 2 back-to-back fight wins in the mirror, and you look at everybody on Swift is like, okay, what do? We have to swap something to try to figure this out. Then I'm switching both DPS back and forth, and then it looks like nothing else occurs, so they're back on the Brawl comp, but they're still at an ult disadvantage. Void's Ant Matrix will come out at some point, and Justice has to mirror it, but what happens after that?
Who knows? Both Mei walls come out, neither one splitting anybody, and we see Frog trying to flank again through the hotel, but they decide against it at the last moment, and now we see Swift pushing to point very quickly. Beat comes out to try and save Frog, but it's just not fast enough, and now we see one coming in as well from Dirtmaster. The Blizzard is out on point, and the bomb is able to get Pandy, so Swift now has an opportunity in front of them, and they're able to take advantage of it and get 3 picks now. The Diva Bomb comes in to see if they can try to equalize, and they're able to. Look at that. 2 picks for Ludwig. Ludwig coming up big for the Speed Boost, and now if the rest of their members can get back onto point, they may have a good chance at a recontest, even though they may have to give up a couple of ticks.
They have to get here back in time, though. Dirtmaster is one of the last ones to die, so no Speed Boost for the rest of the group. The ticks are slowly adding up. That's 2 now. Irreversible, and it's getting so close. Can they touch?
Oh, somebody is able to. Ludwig is able to touch at the last moment. Timo gets a huge shatter, catches 3, including Teabag. But it's not going to be enough as Widow Broken gets this Deadeye, and the Frog is able to clean up the rest of the picks, and that is first point capped for Swift.
The story throughout that entire extended engage to me was just counterplay. Every single time that Speed Boost threw out one of their ultimates, it seemed like Swift had a good idea of what to put back in to counter it. You know, you had Shatters coming out, you had the beat to respond. When that Blizzard came out from CF Man, Going Henso throws his self-destruct into the air to prevent anybody from pushing in aggressively, and it trades back a kill. And even with Ludwig's 2K, it's still not enough to win that extended engage due to respawn. So in this next fight, it's going to come down to how Pandy gets value out of this Deadeye, similar to how Widowbroken did it as his counterpart. Chomp's Shatter will come in at some point, so maybe the Sign-In can be used to push that back.
Oh, look at this flank from Frog. Frog is a very flanky player. Yeah, Chomp is able to get down Void, and that's going to be big because that is so much heals that Speed Boost doesn't have, and the kills are just coming in left and right now for Swift.
And hitting the Tony Hawk 1080 past Thymo's Reinhardt shield, just lands the Shatter down under Void, instantly killing him before the fight starts. And that's a really important character to kill first, right? No immortality field, no potential for that Ant Matrix later in the fight, and no sustain as well. So nice Shatter from Chomp, but a little rough on Thymo not being able to block that. And with this Ant Matrix from Justice on this next engagement, taking space on this card is going to be difficult.
Yeah, that it is. And there we go. The amplification matrix comes out from Jexus. The beat is there to counter it, though. So they're able to continue pushing pretty hard. Diva Bomb comes in. It lands up in the backline, and Chomp goes down to the Diva Bomb. This is going to be free reign now for that main tank Thymo. That is, unless he gets taken out by Widowbroken. And now we've got a 5v5 situation on point. Oh my gosh, and the Blizzard is eaten by Going Henzo. That is so big, so big. Going Henzo coming up big again, taking out CF Man. Going Henzo just spelled doom for the May on that point, and this fight, there's only 1.35 meters left for Swift to be able to cap it, and is not going to be able to do it as Speed Boost holds on.
So many one-for-ones end up favoring the defending side of Speed Boost, and Frog trying for his second flank now in a row. His previous one did not result in anything with that Death Blossom. It got stunned out by Pandy, so good job on her part, but the flanks need to start getting value if you're going to play like that. Otherwise, Thymo's just going to walk all over Chomp.
Yeah, I think they're really missing that DPS in the front line right now. And Frog goes on this like 5-man shatter! 5-man shatter! Going Henzo is the only one who is still left up, and that's not going to be enough to stave off this incredible attack from Speed Boost.
Thymo, that was disgusting. Oh my god. Chomp tries to throw down his shatter in response, but because Thymo pulls it out first, he just lays out 5 people at once from Speed Boost. Instant fight win with no other ultimates, and that is so important going into this last portion of your defense. If you're able to sort of cycle ultimates like that, it's going to make your defense so much easier, because now you only have to worry about Justice's Ant Matrix. You can just play around the terrain. And then you use all the space clearing tools like the self-destruct and the high noon to clear back out the cart when they come on.
And there comes the amplification matrix from Jexus. They're going to try and take down that Maywall as quick as they can, which they can do very quickly due to that matrix. Boyd also pops his amplification matrix as well. The DMAC comes in now for Henzo, and that's big. Dirtmaster decides to pop the beat to give his team that extra push that they need in order to get these last few kills. We see Ludwig with a big bomb. It doesn't catch anybody, but Chomp is forced to go to the back, and now we get Frog coming in with a big hit with that Death Blossom. Ludwig getting DMAC'd on point, and now this looks like it's finally going to go the way of Swift, and they're going to be able to make it to third point.
Well, congrats, Swift. You do end up capturing the second objective, but is this going to be enough to actually give them the chance to win, is the question, because they only have 90 seconds now to push it all the way to the end. And in the back of Speed Boost's mind, they can realize, hey, maybe we lose a couple of fights here, but as long as we get that timer down to 0 seconds, we have a full 2 minutes and 43 seconds to capture just one tick on the next push. So all they have to do is just buy enough time to give themselves the chance to attack again.
Yeah, and there we see stun coming in on Widowbroken. Trades from both sides, though. We see Dirtmaster going down, but the Blizzard comes in. Oh my gosh, look at this. 2 picks on one side, 3 picks on the other, but it is going to be Speed Boost on top again. Their brawl is just a little too much, it appears like, for Swift.
We're just not ready for CF Man's Blizzard right there. It gets 5 at the tail end of that fight, and that is just disastrous if you're trying to maintain a push in overtime, because now you only have 30 seconds. Look at all this aggression. Pandy pops the high noon. They're running at them.
Oh my gosh, this is incredible. With that Speed Boost, you can get that McCree to move a lot quicker during that Deadeye. Wall comes out to try and stave off some of this aggression from Swift, but they've made it to the cart now, and they're starting to push it. Fire Strike comes in, but it's eaten by Ludwig. Ludwig throws in the Diva Bomb. Isn't going to find anything. Self-Destruct doesn't get anybody, but Chomp's shield must be hurting after that. And we see CF trying to take freeze Chomp again, and now we see Going Henzo coming in with a bomb. Will it catch anyone? No, it doesn't. Neither will the DMAC, but we've got 2 picks now going the way of Swift. Make that 3 now as CF Man goes down as well, and looks like Swift, even though it's overtime, may get this point capped. They're gonna have to win one more fight though, at least.
This is still a win in my eyes for Speed Boost, because you've got it to overtime, and now you have the sole opportunity to re-attack. There's a lot of ults on the side of Swift, though, so they should be able to finish out this capture. Here comes the Death Blossom, but he gets stunned.
Oh, he does get stunned out of it. Both amplification matrices out. Both beats used as well. That Soundberry protecting everybody on the on each team. And we see this overtime clock still clicking down. The Blizzard is big. 1, 2, 3 captured in it. Teabag goes down. Widowbroken goes down. Chomp goes down. Frog goes down. And this is going to be a hold and a win for Speed Boost.
a nice freeze to close it out. And like I mentioned, after you get that full hold, or rather pushing it to overtime on that third point, it's still technically a great win in my eyes for Speed Boost. Getting it that early just by getting another nice defense is just the cherry on top to really stamp their mark on this series and start to get back into it. After that first map loss, now that things are even in this Brawl Mirror, they feel much more comfortable, much more confident now that they have that starting DPS player with CF Man 29. So this is looking great for Speed Boost.
Yeah, it really is. It's like a whole different team now. And I'm excited to see what we see from them next. And I'm going to throw it to a short break because we are experiencing just a minor technical difficulty. So stay with us. We will be back very soon. And we are back, everybody, and it is time to sail down the rivers and the canals of Rialto for our next map. What do you think we're going to see coming out here, Amintus?
Honestly, at this point, who knows? I mean, both teams have shown two very different compositions that they can play and that they feel comfortable with, that they've been successful on as well. You know, Svift played that Moira Rush at the beginning. Maybe you kind of have to take a look at those results differently when your coach is playing on DPS, right? But they still won that map, and then Speed Boost, they clap right back with their own Brawl comp in the mirror on King's Row, and they win there. So depending on what the defending team ends up coming out with, I always say it like this, you know, the defenders decide the meta for the map because it sort of forces the attacking team to either succeed against it or swap to deal with it. So it really does come down to what Svift wants to play to start off here.
Yeah, very interesting point. And it looks like we're looking at a double-double composition coming out on defense. That's exciting. I love watching double-double. One of my favorite compositions to watch and to play as well. Very fun.
You know, one of the more important components in double-double is the Ana. Jexis, excuse me, on this Ana needs to figure out a very safe position to play in before the map starts, because if they get picked off early, there's no nano that comes online for Chump, which means he can't play aggressive and get charged for going Henso, and it's just kind of that domino effect that topples over. So once an individual component of this comp is removed, it becomes very difficult to maintain the objective of it, which is to hold space, play slowly, and then get your ults online. So Speed Boost on the attacking side is going to have to figure out what comp they can use to shut out the individuals. And already we see a Widowmaker duel, so that bodes very well in that regard.
Yeah, that it does. And we see Widowbroken already got looks like Ludwig in their sights, but they decide not to take that shot. Maybe they want to make sure that nobody knows where they are. A fight breaking out on the high ground already. Ooh, and I just heard some sticky bombs from CF Man come the way of Widowbroken. Now we're taking a look. Now take a look at Chomp. They're hiding around this corner, looking for the ideal point to engage. Probably when this cart gets right to this corner. But it is Thymo who comes in first, dropping that barrier projector to keep his team healthy. And Thymo goes very, very low. Yeah, Pandy trying to get value on this high ground. And it looks like Speed Boost is going to be able to control this high ground as well, which is going to prove very, very beneficial for them. It's going to be a hard time trying to retake it now for Swift.
But Speed Boost is very far ahead on this nano charge due to all that damage that Thymo ended up taking. Void is going to probably reach it after getting all this residual healing on all of the members, so expect the nano being dropped onto the Winston. Here comes the aggro.
Oh yeah, and there it is. We see them going nuts. They get slept briefly, but we get a couple picks coming in now for the way of Speed Boost, but Thymo goes down now, and we see another pick coming in, so it's now a 4v4. CF Man looking to see if they can find a little bit more value somewhere as they have to back out and take this mini health pack, and now they try to desperately escape, and we see Chomp has now built up their Primal Rage, and there they go. Wow, 2 kills instantly. Fantastic mechanics right there, and now they're going to try and boot this Ashe away too, but she's getting pocketed by that Mercy, so she's not going to go down, but Mercy went down very, very low, and it looks like Chomp is able to Primal Thymo into the drink.
Chomp ate his bananas for breakfast today because that play was bananas. He just gets that Primal online in the mid-fight, pops it, kills 3 people overall, and sends everybody on Speed Boost back to spawn. And because this fight was so slow, there are 2 minutes gone now. Like, you only have half of your push remaining for first. And Widowbroken getting taken down very low by Thymo to start this engage off. He does die. Can anybody res? No, there's no Mercy on the field.
No, there's not. That's going to spell disaster, I think, for Swift. We see the sticky bombs coming in from Frog. Not able to find anything with it, but they get the duplicate onto the Winston. And now the double Tesla cannons there on point. As we see a Primal pop now from Thymo to try and make some chaos happen. Deciding to dive now onto the main tank of Swift. Chomp goes down very, very low due to that, but they're able to survive somehow. And now we see Infrasight popped from Speed Boost. So now they can see everything that's going on. The Nano is thrown out as well from Jexus, but going head so goes down. Oh, there is a trade for each team, but the grab is big, and now we see Ludwig trying to push out that frog flying in the sky, and it looks like Swift is going to get this point pushed a little bit further.
Widowbroken manages to get a headshot kill on the Void, and it does end up getting res, so all of this extended chaos feels like it's going to be in favor of Speed Boost over time just because of the 5v6. Rally pop by T-Back, they're trying to fight this still.
Ooh, that they are, and with that rally, that's going to be big. Chomp, though, decides to pop the Primal as well. Booping away this Widow. They're likely going to go down unless they can escape, and it looks like they're going to be able to because they've also got that Mercy pocket. So Chomp decides to switch targets and goes after the Ana instead, briefly pushing them out. But this is going to go the way now of Speed Boost.
4 minutes have passed, and it still feels like there's only been 2 fights, which is just insane, right? Like, the 4 minutes leading to only 2 fights on the attacking side is really, really bad. If you want to have multiple chances, maybe give yourself that second opportunity, but they are able to pull it out in the end due to some poor positioning on the behalf of Widowbroken on this signature Widow pick. But nonetheless, going into the second point, we've got this Graviton Surge for Ludwig. He's on this high ground. He's trying to look for some kind of drop, maybe as they're coming through that doorway on the high ground, and Frog watching the flank, maybe trying to get a duel off of CF Man, but watch out for this grab from Ludwig.
Yeah, here we go. The fight is breaking out in earnest. Now there's a big anti-nade that comes in. Oh my gosh, it's huge. It catches so many. Both supports now are down for Swift, and Speed Boost is swiftly going to take them out and keep that cart rolling.
Frog tries to pop the copied Primal, maybe to buy some time on cart for the respawns, but with Thymo taking out Widowbroken in their own spawn, it's going to be difficult to get this recontest off once again. Widowbroken going down early in a lot of these engages.
Yeah, they are. Thymo goes down very low, but they're able to get healed back up, and now we see a grab coming in from Swift, and they're able to chunk in so much damage. And yeah, it doesn't matter though, right? Because the point has already been capped. So despite this fight win, they're going to have to,
they go back to spawn.
deal with their point.
They go back to spawn and end up stopping to Brawl. Great choice from them. I love this decision because Brawl is just inherently really good on this last push of Rialto because of how tight everything is. Like we mentioned, it sets up for Maywalls and Reinhardt shields so effectively. With the speed boost coming in from Dirtmaster, they're just going right in. They take Going Enzo off of the map.
Wow, that was so fast. Chomp follows them very, very quickly. And Dirtmaster pops the Immortality Field to keep them up. And they are just pushing as hard and as fast as they can into Swift, taking the fight all the way back to their spawn, as a matter of fact.
They copy the Lucio and it immediately gets killed. They will actually be able to push back the remainder of the Brawl composition. It's now a 3v6 on cards, so Swift will come back with the extended fight win, but it finally feels like Speed Boost has gotten their feet underneath them. They're starting to get some momentum in this series, and in this map in particular, because they struggled to get out of the gates, but now that they have the control of everything going into their favor, especially with these ults coming online soon, I'm looking at Pandy's High Noon in particular, it should be easy to shut out Chomp with his Primal Rage, get some space on card, and then walk into their backline.
All right, and we see wall comes out. It splits members of Swift in half momentarily. The nade is big. The nade catches 3 from Jexus, and now Ciampa's going to dive in with this Primal Rage to try and get something going on point. T-Bag comes in with the res onto Going Hanzo, so that's good for them. The bomb comes out. Doesn't
nade again.
Catch. The nade again is huge, catching 3 more members. And now Thymo doing everything they can to try and stay up on point. Chomp goes down. And we see Ludwig now trying to take out those supports from Swift. The Diva Bomb comes in, and it catches 3 of them. That is incredible. Both healers for Swift and the Echo. So they're going to be able to ride this now very, very hard. And that is going to be round 1 done for Rialto.
Ludwig is like the crazy professor of Diva Bombs. I feel like he just throws it up in the air and it magically kills multiple people at once every single time. But to me, the story of that attack was defined by how Jexus continued to get some incredible biotic grenades, but the remainder of his team was just unable to follow up because of the compositional difference. So many times when you're playing the double bubble into the brawl, it's relying on not just ultimates, but your regular cooldown usage and how you can actually follow up on it. The bubbles were never synergized with the anti-nades, and it's really difficult to push off of some admittedly great cooldown usage from Jexus when the rest of his team is not coordinated enough to capitalize on it. You saw multiple times Going Henso and Chomp playing in a different position, not ready for when those nades came in, and they have to use all of their bubbles not in the most optimal way to help follow up on a great performance from Jexus. And it's not enough in the end to overcome the brawl comp just beating double bubble at their own game.
Yeah, and now, you know, Rialto is not an easy map to complete. And
no way.
Yeah, so, you know, if you are on Team Swift, you have to be shaking in your boots now, I think, because that's a minute or 2 on the clock that Speed Boost has. And when so many matches on Rialto don't go to completion, that's worrying.
I mean, just look at their first point hold from the side of Swift, just to prove your statement even further. I mean, they managed to hold it for a full 4 minutes almost, and it looks like they're trying to take a page out of Speed Boost's book by playing the double bubble, but with a Diva instead of a Zarya, so it's going to be slightly different. You can matrix things more, you can maybe help out your Winston in this 1v1 a little bit, but look at how tightly Speed Boost are playing on this high ground. They just dropped the nade up there to hold that space, and Thymo goes, oh no, he gets taken out!
Wow, Thymo's down already from Widow Broken. And we see now Frog with that, oh my gosh, those picks came in so fast and furious for Swift, swiftly making mincemeat of their competition.
Yeah, no chance at a good first point hold here. They're already taking the card probably to the end. I think Speed Boost is going to have to go back to the drawing board and figure out how they want to set up for the rest of the map, because this next engage is going to be very disjointed. They should be able to touch, but just because of the ult disadvantage in the extended fight, Swift should be able to win it out if they're ready for it.
Yeah, and there we go. We see Thymo coming in to try and stall out this point. Henzo throwing in so much damage with those fusion cannons. And look at the kill feed. It is just a line of blue and then red. Fantastic play from Swift. And look at that time bank that they have going into second point.
Jexus dropping the training weights and just dominating the enemy team. This dude's nades have been on points so far. Even in their defense, which did not end up in a full hold, he still put up a great job, and now it feels like Swift are actually capitalizing on his excellent play, dominating that first point and setting up very well for second. I mean, the ults are still all in favor of them with, 4 online, soon to be 6. Speed Boost ends up swapping to the Brig to try to deal with the dive, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to overcome the ult difference.
No, I doubt it will be either. And look at that, though. Daimo was able to get Frog out of the sky, though, quickly. So that could be the opening that Speed Boost was looking for. We now see Daimo looking to see if they maybe can jump in and get a Primal. Maybe knock this Ana off the point. There we go. They jump in. There's the Primal Rage. And members of Swift are getting swiftly taken care of as we see Speed Boost holding now on this second point corner.
Now, this is sort of a problem if you're Swift, because this bridge is notorious for being one of the most difficult points to try to push past the attacking team, especially when you have so little shields. Pandy's going to be able to take free pot shots as they come across here. Going Henso does manage to remake, and Frog is playing aggressive, looking for a copy, or maybe an assassination on a Pandy.
Ooh, and there we see Daimo jumping in with the nano boost on them as well, dealing so much damage into them. But it is CF Man who's able to get the first pick onto Teabag, and now the grab comes out, but it's not going to be enough to deal with what Speed Boost is throwing at you.
I almost got pooped off the map at the end of that engagement there, but this kind of is serving my point a little bit here, where the defending team has such an easy time just deciding when they want to go in, but Chomp says no, I'm going to Primal Ludwig in this corner and open it up for my team. Such a decisive play, but he somehow manages to stay alive.
Yeah, he does. Ludwig goes down very low, but it's first Widow Broken who's going to go down. And now we see this rally popped on point from Dirtmaster. That's going to make it very, very difficult for Chomp to stay alive, and in fact, they aren't able to. Yeah, and this is once again going firmly in the way of Speed Boost now. Looks like they got a boost to their game.
How did Ludwig survive that? That was incredible. I think he dropped down onto one of the ferries to drop some aggro and wait for his team to heal him up. Dirtmaster coming in clutch with that rally to keep him alive, and on this next engagement, Fimo with his Primal can deal so much havoc on the bridge, going for boops before they can touch the cart. But the Widow Broken High Noon is going to prevent him from going aggressive. Does not get hit with it, and he pops the Primal.
Yeah, and there he goes, wreaking havoc in the back line of Swift. The Nano comes in as well, and now we see him booping people left and right. Ludwig is able to get the pick onto Jexus, so those heals being down is no good for Team Swift, but they equalize it with a pick on Void as well. And now we see Widow Broken trying to find some value with that Peacekeeper pistol, and Swift is going to be able to take control of this cart.
We're seeing some parallels in the fight wins that Swift are getting on this attack here. Whenever they make an incredible play, it feels like they just manage to snowball it as they get an early pick on the Dirtmaster, and a copy from Frog should result in a nice grab. It gets removed immediately, but I mean, this is still just dominantly in favor of Swift, and every time they get some kind of distinct momentum advantage, they manage to snowball it through to the rest of the point capture, and now that it's a 5v6 on cart, Ludwig should be able to touch, maybe see if Man gets the copy. We have to watch the grab High Noon combo.
Yeah, there goes the High Noon, but Frog is able to take him out before they're able to find any value with it. Diva Bomb comes in, trying to see if they can catch anybody with it. Maybe they'll get someone with the remech, but no, Chomp is able to find Void with the Primal Rage, and that Primal is still getting value right now in the backline of Speed Boost. Rally popped by Dirtmaster to try and keep things up for Speed Boost, and in fact, that looks like it may be the difference maker, and we're going to see Speed Boost hold.
Ludwig's Graviton Surge manages to finally get some value, get a pick, and CF Man will get caught out here. That's a 5v6 now going into this next engagement for the side of Swift, so if they play this slow enough, maybe let Widow Broken get this High Noon online. It should force the rest of Team Speed Boost back, but Limo says no, I'm going to Primal in.
Wow, yeah, there we go. Initiating already. We see Frog is able to take out Daimo, though. So, but the Winston goes down on the other side as well, so things are equal now on point. Will the High Noon find anything? No, everybody is moved around. So they don't get any kills, but they're able to zone everybody away. And now Frog tries to get something in the window, but Pandy gets a nice shot in the sky. Going Henso is able to remech as well to try and provide some more pressure now for Swift. The res comes in. That was looked like it might have been risky, but they were able to take it. And now, speaking of risky, Thymo's caught out in the back, and they go down very, very low. But look at the the grab and the nano boost as well to try and keep Swift off, but it's not going to be enough. And Ludwig is getting things done for Speed Boost.
Ludwig is 3 for 3 on these Graviton Surges for second point, and with 10 seconds left on the clock, Swift is scratching their heads, thinking, how are they going to get back into this? Chomp has to pop Primal, get the Nano just to have a chance at touching, but it's not going to happen, and that is another map win for Speed Boost, 2-1 in the series now.
Yeah, they came alive. They certainly did, and I imagine that the coach is probably sitting pretty pleased in his coach's chair back in
Yep.
back in the lobby.
Plenty of things to be proud about for his team, and I think we talked about it a lot going into that match, but the tank play from Speed Boost seemed to be the difference maker. Just having that Zarya on defense compared to the D.Va for Swift's attack, it made a huge deal in terms of getting that tempo in their favor. Once Speed Boost managed to get a fight win on defense, they start to cycle the Graviton Surge with some other ultimates and really maintain that distinct ult advantage throughout the entirety of their defense. And even when they have these big fight losses, they have this really good understanding of, you know, when to regroup, when to reset things mentally, come back into things as a strong 6-man squad, pop some ults, and then really start to put their foot down and just kind of maintain control throughout the rest of the series.
Yeah, you know, and I have to be wondering if maybe some of the experience and the fact that the team has been together longer for Speed Boost is playing a factor as well. You know, that like we mentioned before, synergy is just so big, and it feels to me like Speed Boost is really moving as one unit. Whereas Swift is a little bit more disjointed at times. I mean, we see Frog go on a lot of flanks, which isn't necessarily bad, but it is if they're not getting the value that they need.
Exactly. The synergy, we talked about it so much in the pregame, as well as, you know, when you just briefly mentioned it, but Speed Boost is playing very coordinated. It's very coordinated in Overwatch, and it's great to see from my perspective, because there are these moments where when the fights are breaking down and things are getting chaotic, it's Speed Boost that are coming out on top over time. And that, like you've mentioned so frequently, is the result of trust and experience with one another that allow you to make these crazy decisions and just go all out when the other team won't expect it. And Swift is just getting caught off guard repeatedly, it seems like.
Yeah, they really are. And you've got to wonder what are they gonna do? What can they find if they dig deep in their bag of tricks to help them reverse the momentum now that is clearly swung in the favor of Speed Boost?
So we're going to 2CP next, which is, you know, a very drastically different map type to everything we've seen so far. It's a lot slower, a lot more methodical. And, you know, as a result of that, I think it's going to favor some specific compositions that Swift have shown a propensity for. So, you know, the double shield, the Moira Lucio brawl that is really fast, high tempo, and allows you to just kind of throw everything at the enemy team and hope for the best, which they used to great effect in their previous map win on Oasis. So maybe they go towards something in the 2CP category, maybe something like what's the name of the map called? It's in Russia.
Volskaya.
Volskaya, thank you.
Yeah,
go into the
problem.
industries. And, you know, that map type, it's so long range. I think that favors double shield a lot. And if they want to try to, you know, play that more, they can go for it. They're telling me to play Paris, however, and I'm gonna have to say no Paris, never. So no Paris. Sorry, guys. Please pick a different map.
That might have been a troll pick. Who knows? It's tough to tell. Yeah, unfortunately, we will not be going to France. Paris, a beautiful city, though. I got the chance to visit, and didn't see any, you know, mechanized hamsters or giant German men in mecha suits walking around, but I did have a good time.
Sounds like it would be a great time. Honestly, all of the 2CP maps, while they are drastically hated by the player base, they're very beautiful. Lots of very good sights to see just because of how big the maps are. So I've always been a big fan of that. Looks like we will be going to Temple of Anubis, however, and this is a deserty map, very dry, very hot, and it's very snowbally. Surprisingly enough, you don't think about, you know, snowballs and the desert mixing well together, but if you're able to sort of get a distinct advantage on first, get some ults online, and then have a good rotation going into second, you can snowball the absolute hell out of this map.
Yeah, that is true. And if you get that snowball, there's not going to be a snowball chance in hell that you're going to win. Mm-hmm. And, you know, you mentioned double shield earlier too, right? And this map, I think, especially on defense, plays to that.
In a way. So you have to play it very carefully and very preemptively to what the attacking team ends up doing, because double shield is inherently slower than a lot of the comps you're going to see on attack, like the brawl, like the double bubble. And it's about rotations and careful positioning to sort of maintain your backline. So I don't think we're going to see it on defense, and instead we will see this sort of a sort of skew of double bubble with the I think that's a wrecking ball. I'm not sure if Chomp's going to stick on that, but The Wrecking Ball Sigma composition. Very interesting coming out. Still a lot of people not unsure of what they're going to play. It seems like maybe Svift is scratching their heads a little with what kind of comp they want to run on defense here.
Yeah, they may be. Juxa's still in spawn, hasn't picked anything yet, and they've only got 15 seconds to make it to point now, so that could be a little bit worrying if you are Svift. Hope there's not some kind of a DC going on there. Nope, they do eventually land on Anna, it looks like, but they're not going to be there for the beginning of this fight, and if, yeah, they push in quick from speed boost, that could be tough.
He's going to be late to that first defensive hold, but nonetheless, I think the double bubble, or rather the ball sig comp, should be able to play defensively enough. As we see, Pandy just goes out to the Widowmaker, try to scout for a headshot. We'll swap back to the Korean move. We'll see this traditional brawl coming out from speed boost on their attack. Pandy's a little slow, so he's going to need some help rotating in. Rolls across, and he's fine. So the brawl comp is going to have to come out and attack somebody at some point. But look, Svift has not given them any targets. The only place they can go play on is the objective, so they have to run there as quickly as possible, and maybe a couple of people will get picked.
Yeah, they might. Chomp looking for that backline. They slam in, but they're not able to find anybody. And now we see Speed Boost rotating up to the high ground now to try and push off the members of Svift.
Nice rotation. It's going to force just Jexus and Frog down to the objective. Frog sitting above the point on that high ground, but Jexus is now...
Oh my gosh, are they going to be able to escape? It's going to be tight if they are, but now Thymo has his sights set on this Anna, swinging that hammer ruthlessly, but the Anna's going to get away and find that Mega. Oh no. Yeah, they probably are missing that shield on point as members of Speed Boost go down left and right, although they do get a couple of picks now onto Svift, so that could spell an advantage for them at the beginning of the next fight.
Wow. It will res the ball, so he will come back, and Tracer, obviously with the blinks, will be able to get back quickly as well. But like you mentioned, just a misguided push attempt coming from the brawl comp. They split targets, they try not going Henso once again.
Oh yeah, Accretion comes in to try and knock members of them down, and we see a fantastic nade come in from Jexus, but they were taken down very early, and now the Gravitic Flux comes in on the high ground. They're able to get the Immortality field out just in time, and now Chomp is raining down damage on point, but they get frozen by CF Man, and that's going to be the end of the hamster, at least on this point. But Going Henso is able to get a pick back onto CF Man, and it looks like Svift is going to be able to hold this.
4 members left on the objective here for Svift. No Mercy on the field, no Ashe, and not a lot of ways to maintain space. So if the brawl comp can come back out of spawn quickly enough, maybe just run straight towards the objective, get a couple picks on the way in, they should be able to flip this easily in their favor. Look, they're already just deciding to go straight to the objective. Who's going to contest them?
Yeah, and we see Chomp stomping that high ground, getting that diva out. And now the big nade comes in. That is huge. Immortality has to be used to try and keep the rest of his teams up. The post bomb comes in there to find Dirtmaster. That means that there are no heals now for Speed Boost, but they've already gotten 2 picks, which may be a good enough trade for them in their book.
Yeah, they get the 2 ticks, like you mentioned. But once again, we're in this equilibrium state where it feels like every time this brawl comp pushes in, they lose somebody on their route towards the objective, or whoever they're trying to go kill. Now, I have a couple ults to facilitate, smoother play with this beat coming online for Dirtmaster. Maybe Thymo Shatter will try to kill some contesters, but they're getting contested on this rotation once again. Dirtmaster goes very low, and they go for this high ground rotation that worked well for them in the past. Jexus, with this nano, is going to have to find a good target to apply it to. Maybe going Henso on this off angle. They'll look like a Gravitic Flux and punish this really tight positioning from the brawl comp.
Yeah, eventually they're going to have to show their faces and come out, but there we see Thymo now pushing the point. They all drop on the point now, and Frog throws in a bomb, but Jexus is taken now very, very early. That's no good because that nano's now not going to get any value. Handy is able to find a Deadeye tick onto Chomp. And the Flux, this man Going Henso's getting so many Fluxes. Bob is able to find the value though. Frog is able to get CF Man, and now it looks like this is going to once again be a hold for Svift, and we are in an overtime situation now. Speed Boost doesn't have anything left in the tank, and that is going to be a nice first point hold.
The only factor you needed to look at to prove how dominant that was for Svift was how Thymo literally did not use Shatter successfully in 4 minutes. The brawl comp so much struggle against what what Swift end up bringing out in defense. That Wrecking Ball in particular, distracting the Brawl comp so much on a lot of those engages that it feels like it's just so split on every single push in from the Brawl. Someone would just end up dying even after they get a nice pick. Jexus on that Ana went down very frequently, but nonetheless, Swift was able to respond in kind every single time.
Yeah, it looks to me like they may have found a new formula for success, and that maybe it includes Wrecking Ball and Sigma. I'll be excited to see what they put on attack as well, because, yeah, they may want to go with what worked, and it looks like that's what they're going to do.
Chomp on that Wrecking Ball in particular. He's kind of the unsung hero in my eyes, because as Wrecking Ball, it's important that not only you distract, but you stay alive as well. And because of the fact that he very rarely got picked first on a lot of those engages, sometimes he did end up dying to a stray ultimate from the Brawl comp. He still was able to just pull so much pressure towards himself that it freed it up for people like Frog, like Jexus, to get some incredible cooldown usage, just to throw directly at the Brawl comp with no fear. A lot of those nades in particular, the dynamite as well. And of course, going Henso on that Sigma, dropping those gravitic flexes. And now as we look towards their attack, they're going to be able to play this as slowly as they like, charge up those ultimates, maybe force somebody behind the Brawl comp to let them come off of that platform that they're currently playing on, go to the cart, and just split them apart, because that's where they really find success, when the Brawl comp is split.
Yeah, we see the Brawl comp set up on that island right now all together.
Yep.
And oh my gosh, yeah, the trap is big. That's going to be a fight reset for Team Swift before it even gets started.
Or maybe not, because the Brawl comp coming in fast and furious from Speed Boost. They throw it down, and they end up just walking right back anyways, but the trap catches Chomp by surprise. I'm not seeing where the next one's being located, but he's already getting spammed up by this Junkrat from CF Man, something we neglected to mention. They're really struggling to find their way in.
Yeah, they're able to sow a little chaos right now to get things started, and now they're going to try maybe boop somebody down again. Oh yeah, they are able to dislodge a couple people from that high ground, and
Void.
Look at that fantastic pick onto Void. So much healing down now for Speed Boost. They're not going to be able to keep the members of their team alive very well at all without that Baptiste, but CF Man is able to equalize with a pick onto Widow Broken, but it is very quickly rezzed, and now it is a 5v6 situation again, and look at that Chomp taking down CF Man, so there's not going to be any more traps left on point for them to walk into, and I think we're going to get a cap very quickly now from Swift, as long as they can take out the rest of the members of Speed Boost, and that does it. We're going to map 5.
We're not watching League of Legends, but I still want to hear some Silver Scrapes. Just, somebody out there, throw some Silver Scrapes up if you know what I'm talking about. We're going to map 5. We're going the distance, and it's off of the back of an incredible defense from Swift. It feels like when they're on this double bubble, or, just this counter Brawl composition, maybe not necessarily double bubble, they had that Sigma Ball this time around, but they have a really good understanding of, when to allow a fight to go, maybe just take a quick loss and then come back, recontest them, and then, punch back and really catch the Brawl comp off guard. It's a very front-loaded composition. Once they run out of those resources and they commit them all at once at the beginning of the fight, it's not going to be there for the remainder of it. And Swift is so powerful individually as a separate 6-man squad compared to Speed Boost, who needs to be together all the time, that they just punish them with all of these AoE cooldowns, like the Slam, like the Dynamite, like the Biotic Grenade, and over time, it's Swift that comes out on top.
Yeah, that was just excellent play from them. And you know me, I'm a Wrecking Ball main, so I 100% endorse this pick from Chomp to go over and break out the Mecha Hamster Maniac. So excited to see if maybe they decide to pull it out again for the next map. And speaking of which, we are going back to Control Point now.
Yes, that's right. We're going to Control Point. And like you mentioned, that Wrecking Ball is very favored, it feels like, in a lot of these situations. Sorry, we're going through some difficulties. I'm trying to determine what map is going to be played next, because it is apparently predetermined. But I have not received information on that. We're going to throw to a pause real quick, and we'll get this figured out for you guys. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back. We got that sorted out very quickly for you. We've had a couple of problems today, but you know what? We've been able to handle them very well. So I think, yeah. Kudos to production. Doing a fantastic job today. And it looks like we are headed to Busan for our final map.
The decider. We're going to Korea. We're going to Busan to figure out which of these two teams is going to get their first win in the Johnny Scrims. I think it's season 3 now. Both teams RR will be loading into the map, and it's a big one for both of them. I think speed boost. They've shown some prowess in this series so far with some superior teamwork, but it's not resulted in a decisive series victory yet. I think they've struggled in key areas in terms of specific compositions and how they're dealing with the counters. In that previous map, we saw that ball sig come out from Swift and very easily dealt with Brawl, which seems to be where Speed Boost's wheelhouse is in terms of the composition they feel most comfortable with. So maybe they bring out a different look once again on Mecha Base here, which is predominantly popularly Brawl comp dominated. And already we're going to see a mismatch, I feel like.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Speed Boost is definitely going to favor that Brawl composition, and Swift definitely going to favor something a little bit more divey. Now, I think this is a troll pick right now from Widowbroken. Yeah, there we go. Yep. And we see them finally go over to that Sombra, and that's going to make things tough for Speed Boost.
Yeah, we've got that Sombra Brawl that we saw on the first map with the Moira in particular. Getting those ultimates online extremely quickly is the name of the game, but the Brawl comp has a distinct advantage in the fact that they can survive it and then come right back in with a lot of aggression. Going very low, and Chomp is already going to die here.
Wow, yeah, big pick. But we do see Thymo getting hacked from Widowbroken, but I don't think that's going to result in anything major happening for him, as we see Swift deciding to retreat and try again.
This is kind of the reason why we don't typically see this Moira rush, as Going Henso gets DMEC'd at the tail end of it, and eventually Speed Boost should be able to get the capture. Unless if Pandy gets picked off here? Is this still going on? It's hard to tell.
Oh my gosh, yeah, there's a little bit of mayhem going on, and yeah, Going Henso finally goes down, which was to be expected given that fantastic Mayball from CF Man, but look at that, the pin on the teabag! My gosh, and now, yeah, this is just a fantastic fight win for Speed Boost.
Memo just typing MTD in the main chat, if we could see that maybe one day. But he didn't actually type it, but he's thinking. He's thinking in main tank difference right. Like I was talking about, though, these are two very different compositions, and the Brawl comp, as we get a pause here, is a lot more adept at just going quickly. They can survive that initial pressure coming out from the Moira rush, and then they sort of reconsolidate with a lot of those defensive tools like the lamp in particular, and then just come right back in with something like the Maywall and the Matrix coming out from your Diva to just facilitate way more aggression than the Moira comp could ever throw at you. And that's why we don't see this mismatch occurring very frequently on maps like this, because it's hard to keep your Winston alive against all of this pressure coming out from a team like Speed Boost.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when the Winston dove in, they were just immediately chunked down. Chomp didn't have any hope to stay alive in the midst of all of that damage and Brawl that Speed Boost brought to the table.
And it's unfortunate here because when you lose your main tank, or really anybody to a DC, they lose all of their ultimate charge as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how Swift ends up coming back in this fight, down all that charge on their Winston. Are they going to continue playing this composition?
Yeah, who knows? But we are back into the game now, and things are heating up. Oh, the Shatter comes in. The Shatter is able to catch 3. And now, nothing comes of it, though. Although Chomp does get frozen. And it looks like the point turns over from a back cap, presumably from Widowbroken. And now we see the Moira ult coming in. Jexus getting so much damage to the hack onto Pandy. But Dirtmaster is there with the beat to keep his team alive and to keep their hopes alive as well on point. But the EMP catches 6. It gets every single member. That is the thing with Brawl comp, is if you're going to be together like that, Sombra is going to get huge value. And now we see the members of Speed Boost going down. On point. But only Henso's able to get the rematch kill onto Void. And how is this happening? It looks like we're having things swing now back into the favor of Swift. With this incredible, off the back of this incredible, I think, EMP, the Shatter comes in and it gets 3 again from Thymo, but they still go down. Going Henso, my gosh, somebody get this man a contract to Overwatch League, because they are just killing it right now.
I don't think I've ever seen a turn of events where it was just so violently shaken up by going Henso right there. He just gets like a 3K with a mech call too. He manages to take out Ludwig before he gets back in his mech, drops his own onto Void and wins the fight for him. Such a dominant performance there. And now with control, I think the Moira comp might have an actually legitimate chance of winning this, because now you can cycle ultimates once you throw this Coalescence here to start things off. Widowbroken's EMP will come online. They just have to go quickly enough, because now the Brawl comp is going to come running very fast.
And speaking of quickly, we see Chomp diving in. They pop that Primal. There's the Coalescence, and already the both tanks are getting value. Look at this Primal knocking 2 members off the point, and D.Va desperately trying to come back up, but Chomp just watching them take a swim from the safety of the high ground. What a fight!
I gave him a little wave there too. He's like, "See you later, buddy." But they had to use 4 ults to do that. They commit very, very hard to that first fight, and it's going to come down to if this EMP manages to catch enough members to prevent ultimates coming out from the Brawl comp in kind, because now you don't have anything to maintain things after your EMP, so it has to end quickly so they can get ults back. But where's Widow?
Yeah, I don't see him anywhere. We see Mayball's coming out, trying to separate people. Already, going Henso is demech'd, so their carry, at least for the last fight, is not with him. Chomp goes down early to Ludwig as well, and now we see the turns getting tabled in the favor of Speed Boost.
Widowbroken, where are you, buddy? I know you play the invisible character, but you were invisible in that fight too, because that EMP was the only way they could have won that. Tried to close the map out. Now, there's so many ults on the side of the Brawl comp from Speed Boost, they can just hide from the EMP and then beat it, but here it comes. Oh, he gets him!
It does! There's not going to be a beat. High Noon comes in from Penny to try and get something going, but they're very quickly taken out by Going Henso. The remech from Ludwig, though, is able to take out Going Henso, and now Jexus goes down as well. Teabag forced to pop that Soundberry to try and keep his team alive. And right now, things are just going nuts as we see boops from both Lucios come in almost at the same time. Pulse Bomb thrown out, doesn't find anybody, and Frog is forced to recall now. And their get out of jail free card is gone, as it looks like we're going to get a first round win for Speed Boost.
Honestly, just a very misguided defensive attempt. Once Swift had point control, you know, they commit a bunch of ultimates on an engage that they didn't necessarily have to. I think they had it locked down after they got that initial pick with the D.Va bomb, but they just throw in the Pulse Bomb and the Primal regardless. They don't have anything to maintain control, and they never get that EMP out either. So just an easy defensive pickup off of the misplay from Swift there, and the first point will go the way of Speed Boost on this Brawl comp in particular, which is something that it feels like they Swift had this countered already, but they just couldn't play it on that last map. So how are they going to deal with it now?
Yeah, that's a very good question. You know, I'm actually a little bit surprised that we're not seeing the Sigma Ball come out here again.
Yeah.
Because Wrecking Ball can be very powerful on this map. So, yeah, maybe if this doesn't work, they'll try that.
Swift running the same composition as they did on Mecha Base here now on Sanctuary. They're trying to set up early, get Widowbroken in the off angle for a hack. Frog on this Reaper, he's completely alone, will have to Wraith out almost immediately. And Widowbroken gets forced out too, so now the Brawl comp should have an easy time taking the support.
Yeah, and we look here, Chompa trying to take someone down with that Tesla cannon, but just not getting the picks that they need right now. And Chompa going down to less than 100 is healed back up at the last moment possible, it looks like, to try and stay alive on the point. The remake comes in against 2. Look at that! Going Henso again! This guy is insane! And now they can take out the Immortality Field, and it looks like Swift is going to take this point in convincing fashion.
Maybe not. I think it's a 3-man shatter, but there's just so few people here for the Brawl comp. I mean, they're going to commit the beats too. It's still 0-0 on the clock, so no one's winning just yet. Ludwig throws the bomb in, does not catch anybody, and finally, Swift will be able to...
Yeah, they will. What a fight. You know, these two teams, they continue to defy expectations, especially regarding when the fight is actually over.
Yeah, honestly, and it's off the back of Going Henso, just surprising everybody. I'm literally shocked at this guy's play so far. 2K mech kill in the middle of the fight. Like, who does that, right? Going into this next engagement, though, we've got 5 ults now on the side of this Moira rush from Swift. So as long as they can set it up with this good EMP, all they really have to do is just layer maybe another ultimate or 2 on top of it, get the Death Blossom from Frog or the Primal from Chomp and close it out. Void might be able to clutch it out with his ultimate, but it's not going to happen. Yeah, this is just over.
Wow! 6-man EMP! And the team is just deleted!
I mean,
oh my gosh, Speed Boost got a Speed Boost back to spawn right there, courtesy of Widow Broken.
like, what can you do, right? Like, it's Sombra. It's invisible. You have no idea where they're coming from, and without spy checking properly, that's the only really way you can win that fight. So it's just a disaster for Speed Boost, and that's more time percentage ticking up for Swift going into this next push. CF Man's Blizzard is going to be really difficult to figure out where you want to throw it just because of all of these different factors. The Moira comp can play around it very easily, but Frog goes down early.
Oh, wow, yeah. Handy gets immediately hacked, though, in Retribution. They don't go down, though. It looks like Window Broken probably has to back out. The beat comes in, and the Blizzard is dropped now on point. CF Man taking out that, trying to take DMAC that Diva. Probably a good call, seeing as how much value going into his gun, but they're not going to get any value this fight as they are taken out. And now Chomp is able to primal away a few members of Speed Boost, but it's not going to be enough to give them the fight win. And Speed Boost takes control of the point for the first time this map.
Swift gets a little more percentage in their favor, up to 83% before they end up losing that. So in the event of a nice fight win, they should be able to snowball it towards a full map victory, given that they win it decisively enough and, you know, without committing too many ultimates. But look at the Brawl comp now. They've got a lot of different tools that they can sort of opt into to maintain control here. They open up with the Shatter, but it gets hacked out.
Oh, it does. Thymo goes down very low. The bomb is able to find Candy as well. She goes down. And now Swift looks like they're going to be able to take this point back under their control as long as they can finish up these last few staggers and take out that Immortality field.
Dirtmaster just sitting on top of the drum, able to buy a little bit more time before he does end up going down, which might actually be a bit of a misplay because now your Lucio is not going to be alive immediately to get everybody on the Brawl comp back as quickly as possible. So this last fight here is going to be very disjointed and Widow Broken. We've seen what he can do with these EMPs. This could be what they need to force a final sub-map.
Yeah, here we go.
Oh, no!
Widow Broken got some... Oh, wow, but Jexus goes down early. The EMP has to be even bigger now. But Thymo's taken out, and so is Void. So there's not a lot of healing left. The Death Blossom comes in, but it doesn't get any value as we see a couple of picks now coming in for Speed Boost. It's now a 3v4 on point. Window Broken going down low. Ludwig is low as well. During that, and they're also hacked. Chomp is able to find CF Man. That is a tough pick to get on that primary Winston. She is the Tracer is not easy to hit with those big monkey paws. And now we see a couple lessons coming in to try and get something done as well as Jexus is finally back on point. And it looks like we're going to see a map, sub-map, number 3. We are going to round number 3 here on Busan.
This is the full distance, the full Silver Scrapes, if you will. No equivalent in Overwatch for that yet. Maybe somebody will come up with something, but great job on the recontest after losing your Moira that early. You know, I was almost 100% positive that the Brawl comp would just kind of be able to walk it in. They dodged Widow Broken's EMP from Dirtmaster. He gets the beat out on time, but it's still not enough to end up winning that extended engage. Jexus comes back with the Coalescence and just kind of ends the map almost immediately when he gets there. And now, looking towards this final point of downtown, it's still unsure to me which composition will come out ahead in this first fight because both of these teams are committing very hard to this. They fully believe that they can win this first fight and start to snowball towards a point victory and winning the series.
Yeah, it's for all the marbles, this last map, and we are off. We've got the Brawl versus the Dive again, or the Rush, and we see Maywalk coming out. It's able to catch Chomp unawares. I don't know if they're going to be able to back out, and now Thymo is swinging that Rocket Hammer to and fro, and amidst all this chaos, Widow Broken goes down, and we are going to see Speed Boost take this first half handily.
Survives the initial brunt of the attack from Swift and managing to fend that off. They also get an exit pick on the Widow Broken right at the tail end of that first engagement, so they will maintain capture percentage here. And with going Kenso not in the mech to start this next engage, it's going to be a little bit disjointed. They're very split right now. Both DPS are on the point, but they managed to get Candy.
Chomp getting him with the jump pack kill, and now he's continuing his rampage into the back line as Void goes down with a little bit of help from Teabag as well. And this is going to be a Swift, I think, take away from Speed Boost and given to Swift.
Only 22% off it, an admittedly really good first fight win for the Brawl side of Speed Boost, but this comp that we've seen so many times now from Swift is really adept at holding control as long as they can cycle their ultimates properly. They just need to stop over-ulting in some of these fights, it feels like. Jexus is almost surely going to start this off with the Coalescence, but he's alone.
Yeah, is he going to be able to get the value that they need out of it? It's unclear at the moment. Immortality comes out, but it's not early enough to save Pandy, unfortunately, for Speed Boost. Wall comes out to try and split some of the members of the team. The beat as well, trying to allow Swift to get even more value off of this aggression. And look at Chomp, Boop and May off the map. That's a key member gone from Speed Boost, and that'll be another fight win for Swift.
And Dirtmaster throws in the beat too. Now they have no way to survive this EMP from Widow Broken. You can layer that with Frog's Death Blossom so easily as long as you catch Ludwig to remove the defense matrix. This should be another free fight win for the side of Swift. How is Speed Boost going to deal with this?
It's unclear at this moment, but they certainly got to try something. As now the EMP comes in, it gets 5. CF Man, the only one to escape its wrath. And Jexus is already able to take him out, though, so nobody can use any abilities if you are from Team Speed Boost. Look at the Diva Bomb on point, doesn't get anybody. And now the remake comes in from Going Head, so it doesn't get anyone in as well. But the fight has been equalized now with a pick onto Frog, and it looks like Void goes down as well, though. So without that big amount of heals, Speed Boost is going to have to try again.
Now Swift entering this last fight territory. If they win this, the series is theirs. And it's going to come down to how Chomp and Frog end up committing these ultimates into Pandy's Deadeye, because if he manages to get a single pick, that's going to open it up for the rest of the Brawl comp to come through. The tanks of Swift are getting poked down very low to get this fight started.
And here we go. Chomp deciding to drive in. The Shatter's big. It catches 5 members of Swift. And that is going to be Speed Boost getting to live to fight another day here on point.
No, they're not. Speed Boost is dead.
Oh my gosh, they are not. Holy crap. Yeah, this is it. They did, and that's gonna be it. We're gonna see this first win go the way of Swift. Congratulations, though, to both teams. A fantastic match, and I think the true winners here today are all of us, including the audience.
Yeah, I don't blame you for not catching how quickly that fight ended, because Chomp's Primal, it did so much work for them. I think it really did, get a couple of clutch picks, and his Winston performance overall in this series has been incredible. Tag teaming with Going Henso with this Winston Diva, which we don't normally see very often these days, and it's just so incredible to see these two tanks having such a big impact for teams like Swift here. This is their first match, right? Like, this is the first showing we've ever seen of them, and they just put up some incredible team play.
Yeah, they really did. And, I don't think there's any formal MVP for Johnny Scrims, but if you were to ask me who the difference maker was today, I think I would say Going Henso. At least on that last map.
Yeah, that guy, his Diva performance was off the charts today. I mean, just completely dominating the enemy team at every turn, it felt like. And, I was kind of questioning in the past, why weren't they playing that Zarya in that double-level composition? Why don't they just opt into this Winston Zarya that everybody else is? Now it makes sense, because Going Henso is just a nutso on Diva.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. Fantastic play from both teams today. And while this cast is wrapping up and coming to a close, don't worry, because there will be more Overwatch tomorrow. Same time, same place. This time you're going to get to see Tiananmen Valiant versus Celestial Anguish. Also a part of the same group that Swift and Speed Boost are a part of. So be sure to tune in then. That's sure to be a fantastic game as well.
Absolutely. And for everybody here at Johnny Scrims, thank you guys for tuning into the broadcast. Great game from both of these teams today, but it's Swift that comes out on top, and we hope to see you again next time.
Sounds good. GG's, and see you all later.